Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are once again out on the launch pad in the middle of our Mars transfer window. This is the new Mars Mobile Processing Lab that will become part of Harmonia Station. It is sitting on top of a very modified DN5BX. We do have something new on the boosters, which I probably showed off to you when I did the build-a-sode of this Mars lab. The boosters featured two RD170Ms instead of their other configuration with a single RD170 and then three E1s. These do provide a little bit more thrust at the cost of a little bit more fuel, but other than that, it is just a standard DN5BX. We have a relative inclination with the moon, down as low as it's going to go, so we're going to get this show on the road. The ignition sequence start. It's a very frame rate friendly rocket, I might add. Looks like we're all lit. Let's get these clamps off, and we're skyward. Oh wow, that's a, where did my Delta V go? Let's bring that back up. I would really like to know what's going on here. This is a fairly quote-unquote light package as far as things that we tend to send off to Mars. I forgot what the total weight of the station was. I think it actually came in at under 50 tons, which was the previous cap for the old DN5B. With the HG3s on the core stage instead of the RS-25DEs. So we're going to get this skyward. I'm going to try to concentrate on a good gravity turn and a successful insertion to orbit, and hopefully we won't have a failure on our HG3 upper stage. So I will pick all of you up there. So this was another flight where I was supposed to be monitoring fuel levels on these boosters to see if I had kind of dialed in that correct ratio, and then completely forgot to do that. All between trying to keep this thing flying stable and keeping on top of that relative inclination, it was just that one extra thing that I forgot to pay attention to. All in all, a fairly solid flight. Not a whole lot of issues really to report on. We did start to see some of that shaking and instability that we're getting with some of these larger platforms as after booster step and as the thrust to weight ratio started to get a little higher. My engine bell theory might not be entirely accurate, as this is resting on an engine bell, but I think there's a docking port down at the bottom. It's been a long time since I built this thing, and I obviously have not gone back to review the build-a-sode for this station because I'm lazy. But you know, this was one of those things that was kind of haphazardly slapdashed together when the RAX failed and exploded after liftoff, taking our original station module with it. So it's I blame that for all of the shortcomings of this particular module, but still a very worthwhile addition. But here's old me to finish off this burn. Okay, well, we've staged off our core. We're currently in a highly eccentric orbit because I was getting a lot of the wet noodling that tends to tear rockets apart when you're not careful. So I have I tried to limit my corrections as much as humanly possible, although we're going to use some of the RCS fuel from the lab itself, and I can count at least 2 mistakes that I've already made on this thing. Oh, good. Thank goodness there is actually a short-range comm on here somewhere. Not a matching. There it is. Activate. So we are not quite orbital. I'm going to wait until we're actually out at apoapsis and then make a small correction utilizing RCS. We've got 6 kilometers per second in our HG3 stage, so I think we'll hang on to it as best we can. But I do suspect that I have forgotten to include any form of long-range comms. At all. And that makes me very upset. So we basically need to get our approach right here from Earth, because we will not be able to correct it again until this is within communications range of our array around Mars, which is fantastic, but let's see if we can't plot for Mars right now. And if it's in less than an orbit, then we won't even have to technically circularize. So let's bring up MechJeb and Maneuver Planner and let it compute. Create node. Ooh, that is how long? Come on. All right, and that is in 1 hour 17 minutes. We'll hit our periapsis in 1 hour 30 minutes. That is shaving it kind of close. So I think we will just touch up our RCS, touch up using RCS out here at our apoapsis. We're going to try to keep it just outside the atmosphere because we've already gotten, we're going to get a kind of a nice little bump from our eccentric orbit. Our periapsis just happens to be on the correct side of things. All right, we're within 11 minutes, so we can angle ourselves in here and try to bring that periapsis up. We're just going to barely bring it outside of the atmosphere, so it really shouldn't take a whole lot. What we do have is a good deal of RCS fuel on board, so hopefully we'll be all right here. Hey, look at that. We're even recharging our batteries, even with that super power hungry avionics core on our HG3 stage. That makes things quite nice, actually. We can probably drag a big chunk of this stage with us. It's going to have like half of its fuel left, at least when we leave. I don't know how much of that will, I mean, boil off. It should be all gone before we even cross paths with the moon, but I also know that boil off is not accounted for when it's not the loaded vessel. So don't judge me. I really don't want to use that ignition. But man, this is real slow going. Yeah, turns out heavy things take a long time to move when you're not applying a whole lot of thrust to them. Yeah, so there's that. But otherwise, it's a nice, we're saving that ignition for God knows what reason at the expense of a lot of RCS fuel that hopefully we won't need later on down the line. All right, 140.343. I'm going to remove this node and plot it again. There we go, 44 minutes, excellent. Let's just make sure that we don't have any unforeseen consequences here and that we are in fact going to Mars. Yes, let's see where at Mars we are going to go. You know, way out here somewhere, no big deal. See if we can't correct that just a bit. What? Oh, I guess our station is listed as just a satellite now? Oh, this is disconcerting. Where's my space station? Well, this is not good. All right, well, I'm going to get this on, that looks like a fairly good course. We need to get this on its way out there. I will sort the details out later. That is troublesome. I really hope the game didn't just randomly delete it. Oh, good. Our ullage thrusters are empty, so we need to make a transfer. I'm going to do it from down here. As you can see, another mistake that I have made when I copied over this fuel cell and solar panel to these two, I did not I did not make them fuel tanks also, which is a problem. So That's going to offset things greatly, I'm sure. All right. We don't need a whole lot of fuel in these thrusters. Stop. That should be good enough. Well, maybe we do. So there's 4 tanks there. We're only going to utilize one of them. All right. Activate engine. So far, so good. Well, like half of that fuel used up already. Stop. And time warp. All right, let's get around to this burn and make it happen. All right, we're 3 minutes out. We're on the node. We are falling fast and picking up speed. So let's, we can put all of these things away. Bring up our HG3, very stable, ignitions remaining 2. Please don't fail, please don't fail, please don't fail. Ignition, yes. Good light on the HG3. Which one of you had the fuel? There we go. We're just going to put you back. I know it's not much, but, you know, every little bit helps. So with the massive thrust disparity of the core stage gone, we've kind of eliminated our wiggle issue. That seems to be the trend with rockets that have the famed wiggle issue. Get rid of the super high thrust part, cure the problem. And also the leverage acting upon that engine bell mount for that AJ-10 on what is to be our mid-course correction slash push it into the docking stage phase kind of thing. Doesn't have to deal with as much stress. Anyway, a very long and boring and completely unremarkable trans-Mars insertion burn out of this HG3 and our upper stage. Everything here went real well. This is why I like these long burn Hydrolox engines. You can do 10 minutes of runtime on them, and that gives you enough time to put even some pretty hefty tonnage almost anywhere you need to go, which is nice, keeps your part count down. Anyway, there's our leaving Earth SOI camera change, so just a few more 100 meters per second to go, and we should be intersecting Mars. Alright, there was shut down. I'm going to touch this up with RCS. And what a touch-up it is going to be. My goodness. I missed that shutdown by a little bit. I think that's fair to say. But like I said, we do need this to be accurate because it does not look like we'll be able to adjust its telemetry at all until it is well within Mars SOI. Which is fine, just annoying. It's a good thing that we have a lot of junk there that can relay signals. Which I suppose is the only real advantage to having failed so much at trying to land stuff on Mars, is you get a lot of extra things there, but I don't know, it's working out to our benefit, right? Entirely worth it. I learned so much all the times I plastered something across the surface of Mars. Hopefully I won't be doing that unintentionally ever again, especially not with something as expensive as this. Alright, well, that's going to have to be good enough for now. That's about all the touchy-uppiness I can manage on this thing. Oh, good. And we're spinning. That should be the only tank I have unlocked. Excellent. Turn stability control back on because we might need that and not have connection, but what we can certainly do is unlock tanks. We've got enough in this Hydrolox stage to capture around Mars practically. That's interesting. So the sun's over there. Let's see if we can make sure our batteries are going to charge once we clear the planet. It'd be good to know. Yeah, that's a significant drain. And Now we will be in unobstructed daylight for the rest of our journey. Hoping anyway. Come on. There we go. Boom! Charging. That's perfect. And that's only using half of our solar panels. So we'll keep with that. Take a quick save here just to make sure everything goes well. I'm going to also save when I get back to the V8 or back to the Space Center, because I've got some things to sort out, like namely what happened to Harmonia Station. So that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later. Okay, so it took some work. I actually had to find a old save file and restore Harmonia Station from that save file, because apparently it got deleted or wiped or something went wrong with it. But I found the save file from right after when the Artemis 3M departed from Harmonia Station, and just copied that info from that save file into our persistent file, and it should show up. There she is. So we're going to set that as target and adjust our yeah. As you can see, we have quite a bit of adjusting to do, so let's go ahead and play with this node and see if we can't sort something out here that makes some kind of sense. We're going to try to keep that periapsis right around the descending node. Of course not. Why would that happen? Why would it play ball? Ooh. You know, that's almost good enough. We'll adjust to bring ourselves to within the Atmo once we're a little closer. That'll be a lot gentler of a correction, and we're only off by 2.8 degrees. That's pretty awesome. That's a 5.3 meter per second correction, and we do still have a connection with our ground station, which is excellent because we actually don't have long-range comms on this thing because I'm dumb. So let's unlock some fuel here. Are you not an actual tank? Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you were an actual tank. Do we have anything down here? We should, right? Nope. No, we do not. Okay, then. So I'm going to have to transfer around some fuel, obviously. If this ain't a candidate for fuel transfer of the year, then just take me out of the running. I don't want to be a part of that competition anymore. Okay, well, maybe that'll be enough. Let's do this from the map view so we can have some kind of accuracy. Maybe just a little. All right. And we're just going to do this on RCS. That HG3 is entirely too powerful for any of this nonsense. Even these thrusters are just making this thing move with some real authority. All right. Nope. Yeah, even rotating at this point is causing that telemetry to change pretty rapidly. All right, almost there. Stop screwing with me, please. RCS off. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to go relock all of those tanks, move the fuel back around, and then, yeah, that should be that tank there. Excellent. So we can remove the fuel from these two in. There we go. Lock you. Lock you. That should be everything. Yeah. No oxygen aboard. That's always a good sign. Okay, that tank is locked. We can turn you off. That tank is non-existent. Oh, wait, yes it is. And locked. Fantastic. Go away. Thank you. That should be all of our available tanks. So we are on course. So far so good. I can turn RCS back on, just in case I know we'll need it, and we might not have a connection to turn it back on. Do you still have an ignition? You do have an ignition. All of this fuel is going to boil off long before we get anywhere. I mean, maybe. I guess this will be an experiment to see if fuel boil-off occurs when a vessel is not loaded. Hey, look at that. We're even charging our batteries. Oh, we're entirely off plane. 2 of those panels are not even in the sun. That's what I want to see. So we can hopefully maintain solid fueling. That is an Apollo docking port, is it not? Yes, Apollo docking system. Excellent. All right, so for real this time, that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.